what's going to happen instead? And now's the time where we get into the X-Men stuff. Oh, baby, baby, baby. I'm so excited to talk about this shit. So, yesterday on the Hot Mic podcast, and full credit to Jeff Snyder. I'm pretty sure this is like completely, totally his scoop, some stuff that he heard. And I frankly cannot believe that this didn't blow up more on social media. But then again, when I first heard it, I was like, nah, I don't believe it. Y'all are lying to me and whatnot, right? And so some people actually sent me the clip. I watched what Jeff said with John Roca on the Hot Mic podcast yesterday. It's fascinating. So what Jeff said was that he asked around about like Strange Academy. And he basically said he had heard that there was an Academy show, but it wasn't Strange Academy. It was like an X-Men Academy show, right? And that's crazy. The first time anybody's ever made mention of that. He went on to say that some people said, or I guess characterized this as something that could happen like really soon. Other sources told him this would not be done soon and would likely be a series that would happen after the X-Men movie. Okay? So the X-Men movie right now is rumored to drop in 2027, maybe at the end of the year. And so then you would drop the X-Men movie and then potentially drop this X-Men Academy show at the end of 2027. And my God, that sounds absolutely incredible. So here's the thing, man. That's what we know officially from Jeff. Now I'm going to go crazy on Speculation Town. Okay, everything I'm about to say from this point on is speculation. It's informed speculation. Obviously, I'm plugged in. I'm paying attention to everything. But let's just be real. It's speculation, okay? So, if Marvel was looking at all of these shows and basically just said, yeah, but what if we just did an X-Men show? And then that was the calculus that got them to realize, yeah, maybe Terror Incorporated ain't it. Maybe Strange Academy with Wongers is like a cool subplot in a movie or something we could put in a little animated short or some shit. And even Nova, like, let's be real, nobody knows who the fuck Nova is. Maybe we just do an X-Men show? If that's what's happening over there, like, eureka. You know what I mean? Like, thank God. Like, holy crap. Because everything we just said about all of those shows and how there wouldn't exactly be a draw. I mean, nobody wanted to greenlight Strange Academy, or rather, Terror Incorporated. It was 50-50 on Strange Academy. And then there was like 60-40 on even Nova, right? So let's do a poll. Let's do some science. Okay? Would you greenlight an X-Men Academy show? Let's just see if this one passes the smell test, right? And my prediction is going to be that a lot more people would want them to greenlight an X-Men or a Mutant project. And when I thought about this, I was like, dude, this solves all of those other problems, because just by being a mutant, just by being an X-Men, and by connecting the show to the new Marvel version of the X-Men, like the MCU X-Men and the Mutant Saga and all of that, it is instantly way more interesting to me. And I don't even know who the players would be. So what's crazy is you're talking about a concept that is so cool and so inherently interesting that we don't even know what the plot would be. We don't know what the characters would be. There's so much we don't know about it, and yet it's already more interesting and exciting than Nova, which we would know who the villain is, we know who the star is, we know what the basic setup is. Same thing with some of these other shows. Like, bro, the X-Men and just being a part of the actual X-Men, holy shit. Like, that is instantly so much more interesting, and you could bring in so, like, dude, the catalog of characters that they could pull in for an X-Men show, even if they just did like a younger version of the X-Men, is so fascinating. There's so many different mutants that they could pull in. They can even invent mutants and bring them in and have them have interesting powers. And I truly believe That's going to be a show that will just be way bigger. A lot more people will be into it. And I think it would be a W for Marvel overall. So there's very little that we actually know about it. And I think, look, I think Jeff has good information. Nobody else is really talking about this right now. So maybe it's just like early development. But the other thing that I was thinking about, to take it all the way back to what some of the insiders said about this story, if Marvel, right, if quote unquote, they looked at their schedule and said, this is a mess, this is not good, so we need to change it. The question is, who would they be? And I can't help but think that they would include the Russo brothers. And if the rumors of the Russo brothers helping out with the X-Men saga are true, then wouldn't this be one of those situations where the Russos come in and say, you know, you're talking a lot about, you know, planning the mutant saga and you really wanted it to all fit together. Well, what if, like, instead of this weird Nova show out in the cosmos that's tied to Annihilus, and what if instead of a sorcerer show with Wong and people using magic, what if you just had a mutant show? And you could have parts of that show interlace with the overall mutant thing that you're about to do in the mutant saga. I mean, that just seems like it passes the smell test. It's more interesting. It would actually support the canon that they are attempting to tell around there. It just seems like a way better plan, dude. So, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I have to ask the question again of, am I getting everything that I want? Because for so long, I have felt like Disney Plus and the Disney Plus shows don't really help and support the overall Marvel thing. I mean, Loki was a big one. That was great. WandaVision was cool, and like I had fun in there. But I haven't actually felt like the Disney Plus shows are important parts of the continuing story that is told throughout the MCU. And this, by the way, this will not, probably not, like, let's be real, probably won't be the main cast of X-Men actors. Probably won't. But it might include some of them. From this, from what we know right now, they're going after, like, younger actors for the X-Men, right? So they've got a younger Cyclops they're cooking up, younger Jean Grey, younger Magic. Well, we haven't heard about Magic, but younger actor for Kitty Pryde, etc., right? Well, if they're young actors and they sign big contracts with Marvel Studios, they could show up in these shows. I mean, we've literally had big A-list actors do Marvel Disney Plus shows, you know, like Tom Hiddleston, etc. So, I don't know. I mean, I think if you had because right now, like, if you look at Marvel overall, they have multiple different X books. There's usually different X teams, right? So maybe you have just really young high schoolers that are actually brought into Xavier's school for the gifted youngsters, and they're actually just doing like very high school-y stuff. But then, of course, there's adventures and, you know, finding out the new powers and all that sort of craziness. That's one option, and I think that could work. It could also be X-Force and like a lesser X-Man team that's not necessarily in the big movies, but is operating out of the mansion, operating out of the academy. I think that could be really cool. So there's all sorts of ways that this show could support what was going on in the movies and still be really interesting and really inherently cool. Like, I just know for me that you're telling me there's a young X-Men show, I'm instantly way more interested than Strange Academy, than Terror Incorporated, than Nova. And I don't even know who's on the team. Like, deadass, I would just be way more interested to follow the news about that show and to sit down and eventually watch that show. Now, I also want to put it out there, of course, and I saw some people in chat talking about this. So X-Men Evolution, but in live action, something like that. Yeah, something like that could work. I, of course, want Noah Hawley to do this show. Noah Hawley is an incredible showrunner. He did Legion, which I think is maybe one of the best Marvel shows ever made. He has a sensibility for the mutants, how to do crazy powers, really creative talent. He's about to do Alien Earth, this big show. I think it's over on Hulu, and it's all about like if the aliens took over Earth or some shit like that. So that looks really interesting and really cool. So he's in the Disney family. He's working on stuff for Disney already. He's done X-Men stuff in the past. Dude, Noah Hawley on an X-Men Academy show. Oh my God. I would lose my mother-loving mind, dude. That would be absolutely incredible. So, there's a bunch of speculation there, but I just want to put it out there, man, that if this is what's going on, and Marvel was like, okay, we love Wongers, but maybe that's not going to get Den of Nerds really excited. You know, we love Nova, but it's not necessarily going to get Den of Nerds to, like, you know, bust. Terra Incorporated's cool, but we don't know that. And then they were like, oh, the X-Men, that'll really get them. Thank God, man. Hell yeah. Perfect. Love it. Wonderful. Incredible. Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.